The NBA playoffs are here. I cannot wait for this first round of games to get started. In fact, tip-off is very, very soon as I record this video. What's up, everybody? This is Kerry. In this video, I'm going to give you a model that I've created using some stats on the NBA.com. These stats are considered advanced stats, but they're very simple to calculate and very easy to work with. The stats are very similar to the KenPom stats that we use for college basketball. Let's look at the NBA stats. So this is called the net rating, NBA net rating. This is on the NBA.com website. If you look at what I have highlighted here, the net rating is essentially the offensive rating minus a defensive rating. The offensive rating is the number of points that team is expected to score per 100 possessions. And these are stats that are on the NBA.com website. You can go there. They're publicly available. Let's look at how these stats then are used to make predictions. Here is the view of my spreadsheet. Look at the far left-hand corner here. We have the Knicks versus the 76ers later on today. And look at the net rating here. What I have is the ratings per home and away. So I split it up versus home and away. And what I have down here is the net rating for the entire season, all the games. And what is in yellow here are inputs to the model. Now, I do have a data set that is in my spreadsheet that I just have lookups here, and it's really easy to just have these numbers get popped in once you have the data set. But if you don't have that, then you can still do this if you type in the numbers yourself. So what we have on the top here, we type in the home team and the away team. We look at the offensive rating. That's the number of points they score per 100 possessions. The defensive rating is the number of points that they would give up per 100 possessions. And this is for the Knicks when they're at home. And then the net rating is simply offensive rating minus a defensive rating. Now the pace here is the number of possessions that the Knicks have per game when they're at home at the Garden. And this would be the same thing for the 76ers, except for when they are away. And the other thing here is because I'm splitting this up between home versus away, that gives us the home court advantage. So this is something that's built into this particular model. Now, over here, we have the spread, Knicks versus the 76ers today. The total points scored, these are the ones that we're predicting here based on this model. The score of the individual teams, so 109 to 104. And then finally, the win probability. Knicks 68% to the 76ers 32%. And finally, look at the bottom here. I added this to the spreadsheet. Anytime you type in the team names here, the team nicknames, it populates this little schedule down here. And it shows the individual matchups here between these two teams. If you look at this, the Knicks have beaten the Sixers 3 out of 4 times. Now, of course, Joel Embiid has been injured. He's played about half of the games in the NBA season. And he only played in one of these games. I think it was the January 5th game. And even with Joel Embiid in the game, now the Knicks also had Julius Randle, the Knicks still beat the 76ers by 36 points. So let's get to the spreadsheet. If I just highlight the 2 games that are at home, the Cavs beat the Magic by 10 points the first time back in December, and they lost by 7 points in February. Now, I'm not quite sure, but I don't think that Donovan Mitchell played in that game. And I really expect that Donovan Mitchell is going to be able to play at a pretty high level. That's why I'm making the bet here that the Cavs are going to win by more than 4.5 points. The second game are the Suns at the Timberwolves. So the Timberwolves are the home team here, and the Suns are the away team. And you can see their individual ratings here of home and away. We have here the Timberwolves are 4.8 points better than the Suns, and the win percentage is 69% to 31%. But look down here at the season history. The Timberwolves have lost all 3 games to the Suns. I'm not sure how to go on this particular game. In fact, I'm not going to bet it. It's going to be interesting to see this matchup. I really like Anthony Edwards quite a bit, but I'm a little bit tentative to bet on the Timberwolves to win here simply because of the season record. The next game is a big one here. Obviously, the Knicks, they're all big games, but this one is probably going to get a lot of publicity here. So we have the Knicks at home against the 76ers. This, again, is the offense and defense. I'm not going to worry about this all games here. The one on top is the one I'm going to use here. 4.5 point favorites, 213.5, 68% chance to win. And again, if you look down here at their season, the Knicks have won 3 out of those 4. Now, again, Joel Embiid has been injured a lot this year, but he did play in one of those games. In fact, the one in January, and the Knicks beat them by 36 points with Joel Embiid on the floor. Now, the Knicks also had Julius Randle in that game. He's now out of the playoffs because of injury. I still think the Knicks, with a healthy Jalen Brunson, if he has a good game, will take care of the 76ers. The next game here, we have the Nuggets at home versus the Lakers. And this is a really big spread, 13.6. And look at the bottom here. Nuggets have beaten the Lakers in all 3 meetings this season by 8 or more points. Now, the spread when I bet on this was 7 points for the Nuggets, and I made that bet. This is one of my best bets. Hopefully, the Nuggets and all their players will be healthy and do well at home. The first game on Sunday, the Celtics at home versus the Heat. This is another game that's a potential blowout, especially with Jimmy Butler out. I don't expect that the Heat are going to have much of a chance against the Celtics. And again, as long as they stay healthy, I can't imagine any team beating that Celtics this year. Next game down here are the Clippers at home versus the Mavericks. Another potential injury to be worried about. The Clippers are favored by 2.5 according to this model, but I believe the Mavericks are favored on the sports books because Kawhi Leonard is out. Again, models do not do justice to any particular game when a key player on any team is out. Then one of the best things to do is just stay away, all right? Don't place a bet on that game. We then have the Bucks at home versus the Pacers, and I think this is a very interesting series. Now, even though the Bucks look better on the stats here at home, we all know that Giannis is out, and that's obviously going to make a big difference here. So, in fact, the Pacers are now favored. And look down here at the overall stats here. The Pacers play at a very high rate. They're one of the highest, the fastest teams in the entire NBA. If you look down here at the bottom, they've played the Bucks 5 times this year, and they've won 4 of them. Even in the one where Milwaukee beat the Pacers, Giannis scored over 60 points. So it took a monumental effort, even by Giannis' standards, to beat the Pacers. I think this is an interesting matchup. And again, the stats, in my opinion, don't necessarily tell the true story of how these two teams are going to play out. I fully expect the Pacers to pull the upset versus the Bucks, especially with Giannis out of the games. The final game here, we have the Thunder at home versus the Pelicans. And we have the spread here at negative 7.3. The Thunder are also heavy favorites. And one more time, another injury there to Zion Williamson. So I really do think the Thunder are going to win this game. That's it for the spreadsheet predictions. Let's go to my actual best bets. Okay, so now that we looked at that spreadsheet, let's look at the spread lines here for 4/20/2024. These are the 4 games that are on the slate. And look at the very bottom there, we have Miami Heat at the Boston Celtics. That's tomorrow's first game on Sunday. But we look at the spreads here compared to our spreadsheet values. And I like the Cavaliers at -4.5 because our actual pick here, our model picked them at 7.5. I really like that particular spread there. I do think the Cavaliers, especially if they have Donovan Mitchell, mostly healthy at home, are going to take care of the Magic pretty easily today. That's my prediction. The other one I'm going to take here are Denver Nuggets at home against Los Angeles Lakers. Now, I got this at -7. I think that it's actually going to be maybe a double-digit win. As we saw in those stats on the spreadsheet, they've beaten the Lakers pretty handily in all 3 games they played. These are the totals. Again, this is for 420. I don't have the total bets on this particular. I didn't make any total bets for Saturday, but I did for Sunday. So here finally are my best bets for the NBA games on Saturday and Sunday, 420 and 421. I'm picking the Cavs, -4.5. I really think they're going to take care of business here against the Magic. I'm picking the Nuggets, -7. Both of these are spread bets. My picks are right there in the middle in bold. And finally, the Bucks versus the Pacers. As I mentioned in the spreadsheet, they've gone over this total tremendously in each one of their games they've played. They played 5 games this season. Now, I know the playoffs are tighter. They play better defense. Maybe they slow down, but not the Pacers. They do not slow down. In fact, the way that they win their games is by keeping up the pace. I fully expect the Pacers to run it and score as many points as possible. So I think they're going over that 232.5. Okay, well, that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some value from it. Please consider liking the video and subscribing to my channel. I'm going to update the stats and then look at new predictions. So looking forward to that. See you in the next video.